Hey guys, BeardBrigade here, coming at you with kind of a trial, I'm going to call it a pilot episode. I'm going to be doing a couple of these over the next few days. I want as many comments as I can get. I want you guys to watch all three, and then tell me which one was your favorite. In fact, what I'm probably going to do, before I put this video up, by the time you guys are watching this, it should already be made. I'm going to go ahead and make a Facebook group. And I'll put a link to that Facebook group in the description below. That way you guys can find it. Or information on how to find the Facebook group. I'll put something in the description below so you guys can find that Facebook group. And I'll go ahead and put a poll in that Facebook group so you guys can vote on this. I'm going to, of course, leave the videos up, but I will leave the voting opening until, I'm not exactly sure when. Let's see, probably until sometime mid-February, I guess. Just a lot of time for people to check out the videos, find the Facebook group, cast their vote and stuff, and spread the word and get that Facebook group going too. So, yeah, check that guys out. Check that out in the description below. So for the first video, for these pilot episodes, I'm going to be playing some Champions Online, and what you're probably asking yourself, pilot episode? What do you mean pilot episode? So I've picked three different games, and I'm kind of doing pilot run trial episodes here, I guess. I talked about it for wanting to do like an Adventures of kind of series. So I'm going to test it out using 3 games here, and the first one being Champions Online, which is a hero-based role-playing game. So I've spent some time, build this character here, who I'm going to try and call Justice. Let's see if I can name him Justice. And let's find out. Sweet. So, cool. Justice was totally a name I could take, guys. So I'm kind of happy about that. So before I dive into the adventures, let's take a look here at Justice. So I kind of did like a basic kind of outfit, like it's just kind of a mixture of random stuff. Because he's a starting hero. And so the concept for Justice is, Justice is blind, so he's blind, but he's got like crazy Daredevil like senses, I guess. So kind of like a ripoff of Daredevil a little bit. But rather than running around beating people up, like he uses guns. It's like if you put the Punisher and Daredevil together, it's kind of where I came up with this. He's got the no-holds-barred of the Punisher, but with like the blind reflexes and sensitivity and different way of being able to see the world even though he's blind of like Daredevil. He has kind of the concept I'm going with. Because Justice is blind, but he's maybe he was a hero in a very violent city. Let's get that stuff as I can. And that's kind of the concept for him. Normally when I play heroes, or not heroes, Champions Online, when I'm messing around with it, like if I ever have a video where you guys catch my character screen, I have a bunch of different characters that I've made over the years, and I've just kind of like been screwing around with. Normally I make them freeform, or I pick a class that's like a tank class. This time around I decided to do something different. I wanted to, rather than doing a freeform character where you get to pick all your powers yourself, I went ahead and picked a specific character class. I went with the oh god, what did I pick? I don't remember the name of the class now. It was in the hybrid series, and it's like basically Deadpool. So I use the swords and I use guns, basically. So yeah, I'm basically Deadpool in terms of like skills. It's the easiest way to reference it. So, it's probably gonna look like I'm blazing through a lot of this stuff, and really I am, because I've already done a lot of this stuff before. Money more. Let's save. This won't be saving money more. Oh yeah, look at my awesome swords. Some of the stuff that people come up with is just interesting, to say the least. But I've seen some pretty cool stuff in Champions over the years. So yeah, I mean it's not too bad, but it's definitely interesting. Okay, so far so good. Now, if you guys aren't too familiar, I don't think I've done a video on Champions Online that I think about. No, I don't think I have. This is the first time you guys are seeing me play this. So, if you're not familiar with Champions Online, it is an online game. It's a role-playing game, a role-playing based game. And like I said, it's an online game. So, then classifies it as a MMORPG. So, for those of you who don't know what an MMORPG, I mean, I've done a lot of videos assuming you guys know terms, and that's probably a bad assumption on my part. So, if you've never played an MMORPG or have no idea what an MMORPG is, MMORPG stands for Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game, is what an MMORPG is. That's what the acronym stands for. And it just means that you're in a big online world with lots of other players playing a role-playing game. Now, if you're familiar with what a role-playing game is, like you would, I mean, we have things like TNT, which is a tabletop role-playing game. You know, there's Final Fantasy, there's my Skyrim Challenge series. Skyrim is a role-playing game, but it is a single-player role-playing game. Whereas this is a online MMO. So, that's the difference there. So, hopefully, for those of you who weren't aware, I have sufficiently informed you on what that is. Alright, so now, justice. Justice! Yes, justice. Yes. I kind of picture him talking like Batman. Justice. I am Batman. I am justice. Like, just that kind of, like, God, it hurts my voice with this stupid cough that I still have, guys. I don't know, if you guys have noticed now, I don't know how long I've been going on with this cough.
I'm really worried I might miss.
But it's really beginning to wear on me. Like, I don't know, honestly don't know how much longer I can deal with this cough, guys. It is driving me nuts. Sort of. This cough, and I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do about it, to be honest. Oh, snap! That totally. Ooh, I like that ability now. I didn't realize that I could use it on crowds. So, you guys have probably noticed I have two skills down at the bottom there. So the way most games like this play, not all of them, most of them, you have your like skill bar down at the bottom. Sometimes you have like side ones and stuff like that. So your skill bars is, of course, your different abilities. Now in Champions, you have your like main ability, which would be like auto attack in most other games. So in Champions, it's what's called your power build or power builder, something like that. Rescue Reggie. I got Reggie. So what do I do? Oh, okay. Accept the quest to find Reggie's car. Yay! We'll get some airtime. Oh. So, me shooting with pistols is my power builder. So, if you notice up here on the top left, I have my health bar, which is the green one, and my power bar, which is the blue one. So the blue one is my power armor, and that allows me to use my second ability, which is a sword swing. So I have to build up power, and then once I have enough power, I can use my swords. So, that's, you know, most general game shenanigans anyway. Let's see, fuck that. So, I like champions, it's got a lot of really cool, funny things in it. Like Foxbat, for example. Foxbat knows that he's in a game like that, and he always makes these little funny quips. But he's like a villain, but not a villain. He's an interesting game. He comes up a lot as an event person in this game. I really dig those swords. Alright. So, I really like, you know, I've been a big fan of superheroes for a good portion of my life. When I grew up on Spider-Man, Batman, and X-Men animated series. And then, of course, you know, by the time I was middle school, or on my way to middle school, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, and we started getting like the Extreme Ghostbusters and X-Men Evolution, you know, where we were dealing with more, you know, taking these, you know, 70s, 80s characters and taking them and turning them into more 90s, early 2000s based franchises, or at least trying to. I remember watching all that stuff, and especially X-Men Evolution. I really enjoyed X-Men Evolution. So, what I have, or what I'm going to do next is, here while I play, I want to give, for all you content creators out there, whether you be an author, or you're a, you know, dungeon master for a tabletop game, whatever it may be, whatever floats your boat, whatever catches your fancy, you know, however you can put this to use, awesome. I hope you guys can find a use for it. Oops. So there's like the ultimate heal things right there. It's cool. So yeah, however you charge. Shoot. So we're gonna put this to use. I'm gonna call this the DM tip of the game. Or no. The GM tip of the video. Yes, that'll be the DM tip of the video. DM tips, or GM tips. GM tips. Yes, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. What should I call it? Should I call it the DM tips, or the GM tips? Or should I come up with something completely different? Like, I don't know. We'll test this out. we'll go along here, because I don't want to do one going forward for most of my videos where I have some kind of tip for something. Helpful little quip for each video going forward. So, for this, since we're doing a superhero game, or yeah, we're doing a pilot here for the superhero game, for my adventures here, the tip that I have is for those of you who play, which in fact, oddly enough, Champions has a tabletop, or Champions Online is actually based on a, I think it's based, I'm not sure if it's based or if the tabletop is based on it. Either way, there is a tabletop role-playing game of the same name, taking place in the same universe as Champions Online, with the same overall setup and same general character build kind of stuff. So, if you are interested in playing a superhero tabletop game, check it out. I've heard it's pretty awesome, to be honest. I have not personally checked out, so I cannot say a personal opinion on it, but if I ever get the chance to, I will definitely weigh in on that matter. So, with that, for those of you who do play superhero role-playing games, which I've aside from Champions, I know there's a couple other ones, like there's a DC one out there. I think there might be a Marvel one. There's a couple other ones too. I'm not sure how many exactly, but I'm sure there's a bunch. I've even seen one that's actually dedicated to teaching kids of younger age how to play role-playing games. So I think it's pretty cool. I forget the exact name of it, but it's definitely directed towards kids. You can find it on DriveThruRPG, by the way. I see it on there all the time. It pops up a lot. Now, so does Champions, actually. So, with that, this tip is for you folks who play those superhero ones. Now, as you guys know, I have that list. If you don't know, you do now. On my website, which you can find in the description below, I had made a roll chart for the Skyrim Challenge videos that I do. So if you ever wanted to do your own Skyrim Challenge video, feel free to use it. Let me know how it went, and how much you enjoyed and how much you didn't enjoy, all that jazz. So, with that, one cool concept that I was thinking of, we had watched, if you guys are familiar with The Incredibles, it's a Disney Pixar, I want to say. So it's an animated short about a family of superheroes, or not an animated short, it's an animated movie about a family of superheroes. And the first one was really awesome, and a while back the second one came out, and we actually rented it from the movie store the other day and watched it again. Then we watched it, oh God, I don't know how many times we've watched it. In fact, little man wants to still sit down and watch it pretty much all the way through without moving, which is, can be a good thing on certain days. Getting a little man to stop and watch something all the way through. So, one of the things in that movie, in fact, if you haven't seen it yet, you probably want to skip this, ahead, probably like a minute. So skip about a minute starting now. So, for those of you who have seen The Incredibles 2, you guys know that, Jack, the baby of the family, starts to have powers. So, and his powers are completely random. Now, I thought that was a really cool concept. So this concept that I came up with, and I don't know if I'll make a roll. I might make a roll table. I don't know. If you guys want me to make a roll table for you, I'll be more than happy to make a roll table for you. Because I really like this idea that I came up with of making a roll table for random powers, and the way that this character works, because this is a character concept. For those of you out there, so you're playing, a role-playing game, and your group runs into your heroes, or maybe your villains. Yes, you do it either way. So your group in your superhero RPG have run into a group of kids. Alternatively, too, you can also substitute kids for someone who's older. Either way, and I'll explain a little bit here in a second. So, basically, the character concept is random powers. So, basically, rather than the character, having their defined skills, then they just, I'm going to use this power, and what does this. Rather than that, kind of give these characters, whether it be a player character that you allow, or it be a maybe, if not a player character like an NPC of some kind, give them a roll table of various powers that you want them to have, and make them like random. So, like, give them like heat vision, and then like the ability to turn into like the Hulk, and then maybe they can phase through a wall like Jack. I mean, I'm naming things that Jack did basically. you know, just a list of random powers that don't go together. And they're all just one-off powers. Because, you know, most superheroes have, you know, one power, like, you know, they'll have the ability to manipulate ice, or manipulate fire. You know, or, you know, they have superhuman strength and flight. You know, like, or Kitty Pryde can, you know, run through walls or run through objects. You know, Rogue can steal other people's powers. Give this character, and it's really intended for them to be like a real little kid. We're talking like, I don't know, I would say a good range would be like between the ages of like 1 and like 7 or 8. Because I think that's really good range, because I mean, like, with my kids, like, you know, my 11-year-old, she's about to, or, you know, my oldest, my stepdaughter, you know, Ninja Blue, you know, she's 11, you know, she's coming up on being a teenager. Yeah, she's going through a lot of, like, changes in her life and everything, but, you know, a big transition to having a stepdad. But, you know, she's getting to that age where she's, like, you know, she knows what she's into, you know, she knows what she likes, she knows what she doesn't like. You know, yeah, sometimes it still changes here and there on a whim, like, you know, it does when you're a little kid, but, you know, for the most part, she knows what she's getting into, and she knows what she wants to do, and, you know, she's getting to that point in her life where, you know, things are going to be, you know, goals and wants and stuff will become more regular. Which, you know, a lot of, like, typical finding your powers happen at, you know, when they hit puberty and stuff.
Over here.
But I think
we don't have much time.
I don't really like that trope or whim or stereotype, because I think more like just before
He's a servant of
the hit, like a kid would hit puberty, is like, especially like with superheroes. I think that's when oh crap, I forgot about this guy. I really think that's when they would really start to figure out, or like their powers would really start to assemble themselves. Because I don't really think that they would, you know, I don't think it would take until puberty for the powers to show up, or, you know,
I'll hold off the reinforcements.
You know, or for them to show up or manifest themselves. Like, I think it's wonderful that, you know, Jack being a baby had his power show up. And then being a baby, you know, not even able to really walk yet, having no idea how to control his powers because he doesn't really know how to do anything. I think that's wonderful. I think that'd be kind of a cool character concept for you to play with for an NPC or for one of your characters to play as in your game. Because you can have this big roll chart for them to roll against, and that's what power they end up using when they try to go to make an attack. So maybe they just try to, you know, maybe they're just trying to, like, incapacitate the guy, but instead, like, disintegrate him. Because they use some kind of, like, crazy power instead of an accident. It's very similar to the concept of, like, I think it's the Chaos Sorcerer in Dungeons & Dragons? I forget, it's kind of changed here and there, but I'm pretty sure it's the Chaos Sorcerer, and D&D is kind of the similar thing I'm going for. Just a random roll chart that you roll against, and that determines your power.
Let's launch Ironclad and hope he's
so,
able to bring down the Kular mothership.
now, I mentioned too that I think this would be a good idea for an older character too. Now, the reason for this being, and I'm trying to make it sound like, you know, all senior citizens or all people who are old have this. But, you know, when someone is getting too old, or, you know, their older years, like 80, 90 years old, you know, they start to, you know, have health problems, and, you know, things become a little bit harder to control, you know, body function. And, you know, not saying that that's everybody, you know, it's, you know, only some cases, I know, but based on that concept,
the destruction of the mothership sends a Kular into confusion.
Folks, you know, when they get to a certain age, they end up going into, you know, the assisted care homes and things like that. You know, obviously, if it's someone who's taking care of himself, you know, probably not, or you never know. It's all dependent on the person, really. So, you know, it wouldn't necessarily have to do with every person over a certain age. I don't even really have a good age range to do it for. But, you know, someone who's super powered, I would imagine that, like, once they start getting to a certain age, especially depending on how well they've taken care of themselves, or how many fights they've been in, or just how things have gone for them in their years, like, I just imagine kind of the reverse. So, you know, they start to lose control of their powers a little bit. You know, maybe their powers are, you know, maybe they'll just be sitting there and all of a sudden the heat vision goes off, or, you know, they go to grab a cup of milk and they accidentally freeze it. You know, maybe less of it being random powers and more of it just being they can't control their actual power would work too. But I just think some kind of mixture of that would be kind of what I'm like, what I'm going for. So, okay, let's take a quick look here. Furiosa, she's totally going for a Red Lantern look. Look at that, guys. That is totally a Red Lantern look. Glowing hand. Yeah, that's awesome. Chlorolad? Oh, like chloroform, huh? Skrillex. Goldrark. Mira. Seraphim. Blue Divvy. Block. It's the thing. Sometimes I like just logging in and like looking at what people have made for their characters. Barrage. Okay, that's kind of cool. Alright, alright. So, oh, I have to watch those stupid videos, don't I? Yeah. So yeah, that's just kind of the general thought that I had. So that tip kind of got real long there. I was hoping that I was just going to keep it in a short clip. Maybe rather than filming it while I'm doing the video, maybe I should just do that separately and then cut it in, I guess. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think of that tip and how you think I should do it going forward. Whether I should just do it like I did this time, or if maybe I should record it separately and just kind of edit it. Kind of want your guys' opinion there. Trade out power. Exterior. Just travel power. Alright, so Justice. So he's... You know, he has the extraordinary senses. I don't think you would have, like, any kind of flight. I was doing my powers. Maybe a hoverboard? No. Scorching speed? No. Should I give him like super awesome athletics? Make him like jump really high or like run really fast? Or like jump around a lot? Rocket jump, tumbling, swinging, teleportation. I think we're gonna go with athletics. He's gonna be like super run fast, jump around, shenanigans. Like, yeah. Oh yeah. Doing backflips and stuff. Oh yeah. I can go with that. Totally. Yeah, that'll totally work out. Okay. Can you dig it? Alright, starter pack. Boom. So, let's go with that. Boom. Boom. And boom. So, powerhouse. And here we go. So yeah, that was just one thing there. So let me know feedback there, guys. And
Millennium City, a gleaming city of the future.
This? Oh, I can skip that. Yes. Defender and Renaissance Square. Shazam!
Good to see you.
Drifter. And the bare necessities. Bare necessities. Let's see here. What do we got here? Ew. Gulan. Mega. Who's that guy? Sergeant Steel. Nice. Iron Warrior. Soroka the Toad. Grace. Azeroth. Blackfire. Very Raven-esque. Terry. Made in Canada. That's awesome. Who's this guy? I think he was like Talon? Alright, let's jump over here. Drifter. Drifter! Yeah. Drifter! Yeah. Alright. So I have a lifetime subscription to Champions. So there's like exclusive stuff that comes out each month. On occasion. I haven't had one since June 2018 apparently. You can get oh, it's just those things that I have. I've already collected all of them. I have all of them. John Corvallis. Okay. Sarah Starborn. Twilight Raven. River Spectre. That's kinda cool. She's gonna have the crazy superheroes as well. Nightbreaker. Huh. Okay. Yeah, then there's. I think this these guys? Is this the guy who sells me the Dr. Collector store? What? Oh yeah. So this is the guy who sells you lockboxes. Ooh. Superman Cowboy. Arcade Mage. Cosmic Shark Fin, Socrates, Mountain, Gladiator, Skeleton. Steampunk Overlord, that's kinda cool. Electric, Acoustic, Rituals. Huh. That's really These are kinda cool, guys. Unmeat, Steel Arachnid, Rocker, Toxic Steel, Movement Wood. So these I have parts of. 90s Fox Hat, Steel Shadow. Hey, I have his swords. That's whose swords I'm using as Steel Shadows. Skeleton costume. Ooh. Krampus. Space Scoundrel. Defender. Gladiator. Silver Shirt. Dragon Fang Sword. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. Light Crusher. Purple Archer costumes. Hybrid. Ooh, yeah, I want one of these too. Steampunk Plague Mask. That's cool. Chainsaw. Huh. Let's see. Is there anything that would be useful for? Huh. Let's see. These are all auras. I'm gonna find some good auras. Active, toxic, music. Forgot about that stuff. Huh, some really cool stuff here. Special items. wow, they come with titles and stuff. Well, those are cool. This like powers. Ooh, showdown. Power set, showdown. Meltdown, crashing. Ooh. Scissors burnt down. Special item. Oh, special item is B. I'll become special expansion figures. Pull out your costume box. Ooh, Only Slayer. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. Eh. Meh. And eh. Some really cool weapon skins. Ooh, those steampunk. Cool. Muskets, broadsword, Trident, Tiki Club, silverware, bow. Sorry, see, that's the sword I'm using. Raven's wood, blaster weapon skin, ice blaster, Spanish one. Ooh. Pocket foot. Ooh. Ooh. Rock claws, rock cloud. Okay. Yeah, some interesting stuff there. Remember that. I think this guy sells lockboxes too. Yeah, so he sells lockboxes. So every so often too, like they'll come out with lockboxes, like a lockbox like catch-up, and allow you to like buy some lockboxes and stuff from the old series and stuff, and then you can use your stuff to unlock them. So, well, let's see, guys. I don't want this to go too long, so we'll go ahead and blood arrow. Interesting. We'll go ahead and call this a good stopping point. I mean, kind of got through the tutorial, ready to go kind of further. If you guys will, this is the game to do the adventures of. We'll be picking up with the quest Bare Necessities to go speak to Kodiak and Westside. And continue the adventures of justice. So yeah, if you guys haven't already at this time liked the video because you enjoyed it, hit that like button for me. If you are looking forward to the next episode, hit that subscribe button for me. That way, and then make sure you too hit the bell so I'm able to let you know the next time a video is up. And coming at you tomorrow will be the next pilot episode for you guys to vote on. But of course, guys, we have to get to everybody's favorite part, right? That's right, we're getting to the playlist, guys. So, for today's video, let us see. Let us go with. This one is technically a cover. I'm gonna go with it anyway, because it's a hip hop song. So it is this version of Twist and Shout by Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper. It was a girl hip hop group, super big in the 80s and 90s. So yeah, super awesome, fun song. Really great version of that. So it's kind of a double whammy there for you guys. Now, of course, we have to get to our song of the day. Yeah, yeah. Song of the day. Yeah, yeah. First, I gotta get this under Twist and Shout. There we go. So as for our song of the day, guys, there are a lot of good choices. Let's see. You know, since we're going with Blind Justice here, Leo does if you guys ever saw Oh Brother Where Art Thou, which is an awesome movie, by the way, I suggest you watch it if you haven't. They have a song in there, you know, I am a man of constant sorrow. Leo actually does a cover of that song, and you know, that I think is going to be our song of the day. So that is our song of the day. Super excited about that one. So, boom. Let's see if I can find it now. Sorry, it takes a minute to type this one out, guys. There we go. And boom. Boom. On the list. So, other than that, guys, oh, one thing I do want to talk about before I wrap up. So I realized that my channel has been, like, crazy hectic. I've been kind of like all over the place when it comes to posting videos. Like, I'm not posting them in any particular order or any kind of schedule. You know, I'm just kind of posting videos here, there, everywhere, which I guess there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, since I've kind of, like, really found a niche for videos that I want to be working on, like, I want to be working a lot on my videos going forward. Lithium, that's kind of cool. Like the Necromancy series that I did not too long ago, and then my recent player tips episode, two-part episode that I did. I really want to start focusing on those a little bit, and then getting kind of a schedule going of when to expect certain videos and what day to expect them on. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is come this next Monday. So coming Monday, it's next following Monday, whatever that is. I forget what date that is. So Monday, I will be dropping a new series. That will be a continuous series. I will add it to the videos will be added to a playlist, which will be featured in my world building section of my channel. So if you haven't checked out my channel in detail, a section in there that I call world building, where I added the Necromancy series. If I haven't already, I will probably, no, I won't be adding the player tips. I'll be adding the player tips to its own section, I think. Or I might add it to it. I don't know. Not sure. I might just have that like a community videos or something. I don't know. I'll figure that one out later. But yeah, I'll be I'll be doing a new series which I'll be posting every Monday. I call this series Monster Mondays. So in these videos, what I will be doing is rocky road. Spoorer. It's interesting. So they're doing, it's cool. So what I'll be doing on Monster Mondays is I will be taking, I've kind of created and dusk. So I've created kind of a roll chart for me to use. And on this roll chart I have done a couple basic criteria. So I'll be, either rolling randomly or picking one off of it, for the most part, to create basically a monster of some kind. And these monsters, you guys are free to use in whatever you want. Just please, credit where credit is due. If you are doing something published, or if you are publishing it and you want to put it into something and you want to publish it, I would ask that you please at least contact me first. Reach out to me, because I have no problem with you guys using it. I do just ask that you reach out to me and let me know. That way I can add something to the video to let people know that it is a published thing. That way there's no copyright issues and anything. So please reach out to me first if you're going to use something and from one of these monster videos that I do. And I'll put that, I'll mention that too in the videos too every time I post one. So, but then guys, I'll be making kind of like a random monster, and then it'll be every Monday. I don't know quite how long I want to make the videos. I'm going to be shooting for like a 15-20 minute video. That way I can get some good details in about each monster I make, and I have a couple different criteria that I'm doing. Like I might make a minion monster, or like a standard monster, maybe a boss character. Just an array of stuff for you guys to be able to use. Either add to a story, or add to your tabletop game, or if you're making an indie online game, or an indie single player game, feel free to let me know and use these things. And I've mentioned it before, guys. I think I've mentioned it before. I'm really big into wanting to build a community when it comes to gaming and content creation. We'll be able to build an open community where people can openly share ideas and not necessarily feel like it has to be this like, oh no, this is my idea and no one can use it, and if you do, blah blah, because I'm not gonna ramble too much. I'll leave that for a different time. So, what, guys, I'll just wrap it up here before I ramble and catch myself talking too far and extending this video out further. So, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, you guys take care of yourselves, and have yourselves a super fantastic rest of your day.